知らずに平和をただ願った鳴り響くサイレントと誇りを捨てて目を覚ますんだ誰かのためにしてゆく誰かのためにノートをかける一番の感情に騙された仲間と最前線今僕は飛び立つ忘れないよこの刺激を僕
Good evening and welcome back to my dwarven fortress of Keskalokil, which is doing alarmingly well, really. We're down to only two seriously unhappy dwarves, and both of them are children, and as far as I can tell, the experience of being a dwarven child is just... well, it's not intrinsically unhappy. Lots of the children are happy, but some of the children just really aren't. So for some children it is not a happy experience, and I don't really have a good way of cheering children up. But everyone other than the children is at least not terribly unhappy, and like there's a reasonably decent spread across the happiness levels. It used to be that we would get over 100 in one of the levels, some of the levels, but that was because we had larger population. I've turned down the population in the hope of keeping the frame rate vaguely under control.
So you're engaged in population control by terrible divine fiat.
Yes, more or less. Well, I think the divine fiat mostly prevents immigration. I don't think we're actually preventing them having children locally if they want to. So, like, this might actually be the yes.
Being very, very strict.
Or yes, the king, if there is a king, saying people shouldn't come here or something. But yes, it's there is, I think, another setting for prevent anyone having children in order to keep the population down. But that's set at like, I think that's still set at 200. So like things have to go quite badly wrong. Pink Beast says, Keskalokil, you can have kids, but they might be horribly depressed. Yes, but most of them aren't.
This is true of real life as well, right?
So yes, we're not quite at the point where everyone knows how to swim, but we are getting that way as well, because once you've dealt with depression, you can deal with swimming ability. So like now 3 squads out of our military are swimmers, and I'm about to essentially pick another squad, kick out everyone in it who can't swim, and start repopulating it only with swimmers. So the Cobalt Tongs has 9 members, and the Wanderers of Tongs has 10. So that would suggest that the Cobalt Tongs are going to be the easier one to reorganise, given the information we have. Actually, let's look at their leaders. So we have Kibraluk. Sorry, I'm not in a position to rescue the tea. Kibraluk is a novice swimmer. The Wanderers, their leader is Edem Inet something. Edem Inet something. And they also don't know how to swim, so we're going to have to fire one of them anyway. Right. So... and it was Kobolds who were... the scrolling is still weird here. It was the Cobalt ones who don't have... Right, so we should... Does that mean we have to fire everyone? Are we not... No, I think we're allowed to replace the leader. We just need to find someone who can swim to put in to replace them. So probably that's the first thing, is to find someone who can swim who's not currently in a squad.
I assume someone has heard this.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of doing a thing.
It's just that sometimes you go and turn it off and someone says, oh, I would rely on that to remind me, so I just thought I'd check someone had heard it before I went and made it stop making a noise.
But I fear the tea may be lost. So, if we unpause, then everyone will start moving again. and we can inspect the states of their swimming ability and go, you're no use. You're on the entrance. We want to look at you. You can swim, right? Would you like to? No, it's not sensible unless you are in the military, of course. We could really do with someone who has military skills as well if we're going to stick them into a leadership position. So possibly we need to look through people who have military skills. I wonder where we would find them reliably. I suppose we can look for people who are currently highlighted in military colours, can't we? And they're guaranteed. Yeah, that's the way to do this, isn't it? They're guaranteed to have military skills, and then we find one of those who can swim. That might not work, of course, if it turns out none of them can swim. You're already a militia captain, so I don't really want to take you away from that. You're already a militia captain, so I don't want to take you away from that. I suppose I could put all of the military onto active duty briefly. We could have an inspection and bring them all up to the surface, and then I could, inspect them. That sounds like it would actually work quite well. Everyone, come to the surface. I want to see how good you are at things. I mean, yes. Actually, let's sort you. Let's say the swimming capable dwarves should move themselves to here, and the swimming incapable dwarves, probably swimming incapable dwarves, should move themselves further away from the river. Right, and then we can actually look at them while they're on the surface, and we can put it down there, then I can see it. If I can see it, I might drink it. I might, but it's there. It's just to the right of my screen. So every time I look at the squad menu, there will be a mug of tea there telling me that I should drink some tea. Right, so now that should, at the expense of... Actually, possibly I should space out each of the squads. No, this will be fine. What else is going on then? So we have some giant blue jays fighting again. Though possibly not anywhere actually visible. Why are you flashing white? What does that mean? Does that mean you're a legendary wrestler? No, I think it means you're legendary in something, but not anything useful.
Legendary underwater basket weaver.
Yes, for instance.
More useful than the submerged part of the fortress.
Hey, my fortress is not at all submerged.
Not even the swimming track.
Well, that bit's obviously submerged, but that's deliberate. So yes, we've now got. Okay, we did have a squad here. Now one of them's decided that despite having been summoned to an inspection, they are going to disappear off again and do something else. So you're a militia captain, and you're not a militia captain, but you can swim, can you? Right. So I think Suxel near bomb wreck should be stuck into the leadership role of what? Have I accidentally disbanded? I think I may have just disbanded 2 of my squads. I mean, that's kind of all right. They're the ones I wanted to replace, but what a glorious user interface this is. Well, it has a cross button, which I thought I think I assumed closed a thing, and no, it destroys a thing.
At least you managed to keep the ones with the good names.
Yeah, I kept the swimming capable ones.
And the lardy larks.
And the lardy larks, yes, because they don't need to come up here for inspection. Right, well, we're going to have to make some new squads then.
That means they're going to have sillier names.
Possibly. So we don't currently...
I was about to go the original otters and then realised that this is in the territory of Ubuntu releases again, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, lardy larks are a bit like that, but...
So...
Quite.
So the captain of the guard is an odd position, isn't it? Yes. We should, but we need to create... Problem is we're going to... Yes, we want to appoint Soxal near Bomrek as... They're a spear master, aren't they? Yeah, they seem like a perfectly sensible person to be appointed as the new militia commander. Because currently it's Kib Vralu Koltar. And Kibralu Koltar cannot swim. So let us replace them with... Do we not have a search here? That's fine. I can find Suxel near Bomrek quite easily. I don't... okay. I note that the only person with actually relevant skills for, like, command is Toulon Cathilendok. Are they... How are they? They're not currently in charge of anything. Can they swim? Toulon Cathilendok. No. Okay. Right. Near Bomrek it is. Right. So now we can create a squad under Suxel near Bomrek. They should use whatever standard armour... Don't delete it. Standard armour number 4 is. And they've been given the name the Regal Treaties, which obviously doesn't sound very aquatic. Simon has just gone quack.
It's hazard round here.
So obviously we should find something more aquatic than treaties.
Can't have duck holt.
Well, I mean, ducks probably appear on the list. I mean, we might be able to go for something involving halting ducks, but...
But you can't determine it. It's an uncomputable problem whether a duck halts.
Yes. Okay, no, ducks don't appear on our list.
Otters? Sadly not either.
I mean, we do appear to have gills. We could go for the regal gills. Yeah, that'll do.
Thus leaving it nicely ambiguous whether you mean gills as in amphibians or gills as in measure of spirits.
Right, the regal gills are my new squad, and now the question is, can we find members for that squad who can swim? And the slight problem is that now I have a huge number of legendary wasp names who may or may not be able to swim, sorted by unhelpful criteria.
The Dwarf Fortress language wiki page also doesn't make it clear which manner of gill it might be thinking of. It's not clear that the question even has meaning.
So, excuse me while I press some buttons on this other laptop. Right, so, yes, I think what I should do is just stick people in here, summon them up to the surface, and then inspect them and see whether they can swim and send them away if they can't. Is that going to be sensible? Probably going to be faster than typing each of their names into the search box. Oh, I just stole a militia... Oh, no. I stole a militia captain who wasn't a member of any squad, which is kind of... Yeah, we already know they can't swim. Because we checked them. Right. So it's the button I need not to press is that one there. Because that destroys the squad without, like, any... question. We do though want to station that new squad over here.
Okay, it's not true in games, but it's true of dialogue boxes that since, you know, like the 90s definitely and probably the 80s, you've known that if you're going to take something that's going to cause something not to exist, are you sure dialogue box?
So, aha, and here is this. Suxel near Bomwreck is now restationing herself to the place which I have assigned for her squad to go to. And I'm then going to fire most of them. No, she isn't. She's going somewhere entirely different. She's going off to booze. Well, yes. Possibly what I should do is I should set up another squad which can't swim. And then... oh, I've accidentally taken out the other... so we have a vacant militia captain. Well, let's create that one. The Veiled Smiths. And they will not be swimmers, and then I can move dwarves into there if they know how to use a weapon but can't swim. And then they should probably be off duty all the time so that they can learn to swim. Yes, go on, just in case.
Is that AAA?
Yes. Hmm? Right. So none of that looks interesting. They're all organising themselves. Well, maybe the veil is a kind of protective equipment to stop small pieces of steel from getting in your eyes or something.
I was thinking, what else kind of thing is veiled? And I'm a little disappointed that insult doesn't appear on the Dwarf Fortress language page. The veiled insults would have been a very good name for something.
So, well, we might need another competent swimmer. So let's just have a quick look. You're a militia captain. You're a militia captain. So that makes me think that actually the swimming squads currently have only two. Oh, how about you? You're a militia captain. Yes, because there are three of them now. The swimming squads only have 3 competent fighters among them, and they're the captains, whom we obviously want in that role so that they can teach the rest.
Woods that have woods in Dwarf Fortress.
So I think that we can allow that lot to go back to work while we try to find some more people for the other squads. So the Salty Ink, Splatter the Lyrical Seas and the Waters of Twinkling can have their order cancelled. The Veiled Smiths currently have no members, but that's fine. We will assign them some members just as soon as the Regal Guilds get their respective arses into gear. Presumably the Regal Guilds are currently frantically trying to find some equipment. Looks like several of them are, yes. Good. Like they might actually get themselves adequately equipped, and that would be good. So, how's your swimming? Not good enough. But that's actually the exit route, isn't it? How's your swimming? Not good enough. How's your swimming? Quite good. Right, what's your name? Vukar Rigothmeng. Yes, so Seb was asking about names of squads. So if you, at least from this menu, if you ask to edit a squad's name, you get a bunch of different things that you can turn on and off. So like they start off as the Veiled Smiths, but we could turn on the first 2 sections and then they could end up as being slowed paddled the Veiled Smiths. And then we can give them an additional adjective, so they become slow paddled the Veiled Fallen Smiths. How about slow paddled the Veiled Fallen Recluse Smiths of Clapped? What? And then we can turn those off again.
Because why? Okay. I don't think it's okay. I think it's more what? I mean, it's very Dwarf Fortress, isn't it?
So yes, Splatter the Lyrical Seas of Turmoil have more things turned on in that they have an of and one noun at the start, or one noun or adjective. I think it can be, yes. You can put lots of different things in there if you want. Whereas the first adjective has to be the adjectives have to be adjectives. The has to be a noun, and of appears to be a noun or a present participle.
We've got a past participle briefly there, didn't we?
Oh, possibly. Anyway,
Participles anyway.
now I'm forgetting where I was with these guys.
Trying to
You're
put people in it, probably.
yes.
Failing that, working out what they're doing.
Not you. I think I may have lost one of my swimmers while I was blithering. Oh, well, you're an adequate swimmer.
I thought you were going to say adjective swimmer. I really did.
The word hug is at least in the list.
Good.
So I'm just going to wait for this dwarf to stop oscillating and emerge, which they should shortly because someone has just entered the dwarf washer from the east end. Right, so Logem Limulthak has currently no military skills, but I'm sure they can get some. But in order to add them, we of course want the regal guilds to turn up so that we can inspect them. But I think the regal guilds are still mostly faffing. Okay, no. Well, I'll remember the name Logem Limulthak. Maybe.
You do not need to put brackets there.
Are you linting Shakespeare?
I'm linting the editors.
Oh, I think we've reached the point where nothing is designated to be melted. Let's mark more things for melting. Melty.
Linter is a software tool to go through a program and
So
make style suggestions.
let's
Compile errors.
go.
Might very well be you've got a pair of parentheses here that aren't actually needed. Maybe you leave them out.
What should we melt down? We should probably melt down some copper armour. Copper armour is one of our major.
The original one was called Lint, and I think yes, it just preferred to like picking bits of fluff off stuff.
Surely we don't need all these copper mail shirts. Bonk. Right, that's given us plenty of stuff to melt.
Because we prefer steel shirts.
Yes. Similarly, copper boots are not useful.
You mostly weren't here when I was reading Macbeth because I was not happy with the editors of Macbeth and
Or
their
copper gauntlets.
gratuitous misuse of the common comma.
Or copper helms.
Probably dodging walking trees at the time. What can you do?
Do better.
Or copper leggings. I mean, we then need to find a use for all this copper, of course, but
Strange moods.
yeah. Making phenomenal numbers of statues. Not sure that would help. Copper weapons, we stick in weapon traps, but
Well, yeah, you can melt them down and make some pointy things to stick in weapons. I mean, sadly, that seems to kill otters, which, you know, is not what I'd like them to do, but are they ordinary otters or giant otters?
sea otters.
Oh, you're probably really fucking up the ecology.
Well, I mean, we're mostly cutting down trees, but that seems to, slightly surprisingly, the sea otters don't like it when we cut down trees.
I mean, the sea otters are a capstone species, so, like, weird things happen when sea otters get unhappy, so who knows?
And so they come and attack us, but they're not nearly as scary as the giant blue jays.
Well, sea otters are not generally very scary unless you're like a clam. I mean, you know, but by Mustard standards, they are the cute and fuzzy ones that are only
Yes.
slightly murdersome if you're a fish. Do they have giant otters in foreign waters?
I can't remember. Oh, rotten blue, agitated giant blue jay wing. Should dispose of that. Also, some nervous tissue. We accidentally run out of people who can butcher things because there seem to be an awful lot of objects here that... I mean, I am thinking if we're going to be annoying the wildlife this much, maybe we should invest in more cage traps. Because then we can train them as pets rather than killing them all, and that will definitely be a better way to handle agitated wildlife. Right, so some of the members of the regal guilds have turned up. So now we want to inspect them and see if they can swim. Any that can't get moved into the veiled smiths. though we don't appear to get a button for moving them, so Ficod Bimobur should move into the Veiled Smiths. So how about you? Could you swim? No. Right. Rith Tekudonshan should move into the Veiled Smiths. Which means we now have 2 more slots in the Regal Guilds open.
Why did you start felling trees?
Because I needed wood for various purposes, such as making beds initially.
You found that Kaelin like beds were not to everyone's taste.
Sadly, you can only make beds out of wood. You can make beds only out of wood. I mean, we do have one bone bed, which was made by a dwarf in a strange mood, but no one has ever managed to reproduce it.
Yeah, but this is like that bone chair from the Ian Banks or Ian M. Banks novel. Probably.
Probably not. It's probably like some innocuous kind of bone, like a local wildlife.
Yeah, I think the...
It's still going to be creepy and evil and weird and infected by a dwarf in a strange mood, so you know.
it is fairly creepy. It's made of beak dog bone. Beak dogs being one of the weird creatures that goblins turn up riding.
Okay, that's very creepy. Fair enough.
It's studded with billen, decorated with willow, and encircled with bands of billen. Menaces with spikes of beak dog bone, billen, dolomite, and amber opal. On the item is an image of dwarves in Drunian leather. The dwarves are travelling. This relates to the foundation of board whips by the born tomb of the Orbs of Yore in the late winter of 100.
So decorated with willow, so it still did need some wood.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and it's quite creepy. I mean, it could be creepier. I mean, the dwarves could be, you know, dying
Rather than just travelling, yes.
Yeah.
We've set it up in the hospital so that everyone can admire it.
Right. They're not going to leave the hospital with, like, weird twisted fever dreams or something, right? And I suppose if they do have them, they are in the right place.
Yes. Oh dear, have you got hurt? Maybe. His right floating ribs are mangled beyond recognition. Okay, well, I wonder if anyone can work out what to do about that. Right, we are melting metal objects again. Excellent. Kivish Udib Bekar, are you the other one of the 2 unhappy dwarves? Unhappy children? Yes. Okay, I'm slightly concerned... Oh, we've lost a cat. What a pity. By the way that we seem to be making lots of... We're unable to make stone grates. And I'm slightly like, why are we trying to make stone grates? Surely we have enough stone grates. Do we have an accidentally runaway standing order or some such? Now, it is set to amount of rock grates available is less than 10. But, like, if it's still happening... Certainly looks like there's more than 10 of them. Two, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 18. There are only 18, but that is still more than 10. Let's go back and find it again. There it was. It does say not satisfied for next check. Okay, no, weirdly, we were actually that short of rock grates. Right, someone is busy engaging in butchery. Good. But possibly, I did assign a bunch of new people. Oh, you're a proficient butcher. You should be able to do it reasonably swiftly. How's our hurt dwarf doing? They've been brought to rest quite some time ago. Yeah, I think there is a slight problem that maybe surely diagnosis required, but if you were brought to rest here, I mean, I don't know quite how the calendar goes, but we are not in Malachite anymore. So it's, oh, hang on, if we're brought to rest in 106, I think, okay, maybe just no one has got round to you yet. That was an entirely different trip to the hospital that's appearing in your history. Right, the miasma has cleared, so I can see what's going on here and check that they're all marked for, all the rotten objects are marked for dumping, which it looks like they are. Good. But no one seems to be dumping them yet, which is kind of unfortunate. Oh dear, this stockpile's almost full again. Oh, we should check what the heads on spikes situation is, shouldn't we? That one is on display, so we can forbid it. So I think that means we're now in a position to ask for another thing to be put on display. But these two pedestals appear to be empty, which is a bit alarming. So let's find something to display for those. Like, I think we have a procedure here which works all right, which is largely that we go through here looking for something that, a name that looks like a goblin one, and that says head, and we stick it on there, and then we forbid it once it's arrived, so that we don't accidentally move it to another pedestal, because I don't think this interface tells you actually that head's on a different pedestal. Like, some of these may be inaccessible, of course.
Sorry, I'm getting this, the princess is in another pedestal.
Yes.
No very good reason, really.
We don't have any princesses. Indeed, in general, the Dwarf Fortress, unlike Crusader Kings, doesn't go in for giving lots of people titles. Like, you don't find yourself with dowager queens or whatever.
It also seems to be a much more sort of elective monarchy. So you don't
I think the monarchy is hereditary, but the mayor is much more important.
Right.
And is elected.
So the fact that there are dowager queens no one really cares about.
Yes.
It's much more important to know who's the mayor. And having a dowager mayoress or something is not actually relevant.
Yes, indeed, yes. I think being married to the mayor doesn't get you much. Doesn't get you a title, for instance. Also, we seem to have very few marriages, but maybe they don't get announced anymore. Okay, I can't actually find any. Oh, right, that's a tooth. What's that doing there? Oh, that's a human tooth, isn't it? We tried to collect human things. So I think we may now have put every... Just dump that. Every goblin head we have available on a pedestal, which is nice. Oh, we've lost our stray giant eagle brackets trained. That's sad. They got killed somewhere. So, yes. I wonder if we should do something with cage traps. Meanwhile, has anyone else turned up to admit to being a member of this squad? You can't swim. You can't swim. So Zasit Ineth Shah should be moved into the Veiled Smiths. And Kib Ralukoltar as well. I'm beginning to think that we don't actually have many people who can both swim and fight. So yes, I think the plan now is that anyone who can fight but not swim gets put into the Veiled Smiths, or possibly another squad that are always off duty
And thus always qualifying
for
fortune.
yes, for going swimming. Edem Inethatast, dabbling swimmer. That wasn't at all what I meant. Oh, because I have to click that in order to search. Okay, why can't I find this person? Edem, not Idem. Bit confused by the way you left your boot behind. Ushat Drill Hall. You feel like you sound like you ought to be good in the military, but you still don't know how to swim. Right. You lugging something useful? No, that's rotted. No, not really much point in your bringing that back. Dump it. Or I suppose just leave it out here. We seem to have a decided lack of urgency in dumping things at the moment.
Too much fun with the dwarf washer.
Possibly. Oh, here's another dwarf come to report for inspection. You're an adequate swimmer. Hooray! You get to stay in the Regal Gills.
Does the game model the extra difficulty of swimming if you're wearing weighted metal armour?
I honestly don't know. Certainly in general, Simon asked, does the game model the extra difficulty of swimming in heavy metal armour? And yes, the answer is I don't know. It certainly in general models the difficulty of moving in heavy metal armour. So it may well also deal with the difficulties of swimming in it as a kind of movement. Seb says, I thought part of the point was the swimming squad could just stand next to the rivers and sidestep when the goblins arrive. Yes, that is kind of true. They do still need, it would still be helpful if they could like competently dodge. And it would definitely be nice if the people who can fight could also swim. I mean, that's actually the more important thing. Have you reported for... yes, you have reported for inspection, though you appear to be running away immediately. But you also don't know how to swim, so you're going to join... You are Ezum Gankonos. Also, of course, if the non-swimming squads ever meet a goblin not near the river, it would be helpful if they knew what to do with them. Oh, we found the dead eagle. I mean, the eagle was 10 years old, so it may actually just be a perfectly ordinary death of old age. Though, being spattered with giant eagle blood suggests possibly not. Or possibly... I mean, a giant eagle should be able to take a giant blue jay, you would have thought. Though possibly not an entire mob of giant blue jays. What are you doing, person standing next to this dead eagle? Nothing, okay. Possibly you just got into a fight with something. Also, I've spotted a cat corpse in that tree. Maybe we should do something about that. Right. Kind of thinking about this trapping problem, because I don't really want to trap goblins. I'd much prefer to take goblins apart. But on the other hand, I do want to trap wildlife.
Why do you want to take goblins apart and miss this?
Well, otherwise we've got a bunch of goblins in cages and you can't tame them. So what are we going to do with them? We have to hurl them into the sea or something. I mean, I suppose we could construct a mechanism for hurling goblins in cages into the sea. It's a thought. Then what are we going to do with all these copper weapons? I suppose we melt them down and turn them into cages. Or traps. Like, I will admit that there is a kind of plan coming together here that involves replacing killing the goblins with weapon traps, with trapping them in cages and then throwing them into the sea. It is a bit less efficient though, because the problem is each cage trap can only have one cage in it. So each one can only catch one goblin. And once it's caught a goblin, you then have to like take the cage out, put a new cage in, hurl the cage into the sea, forge a new cage because you've just gone and hurled the cage into the sea. Actually, there is a mechanism for extracting goblins from cages. So we might be able to use that. But yes, that is beginning to... There are the edges of a plan coming together there that involve replacing our weapon traps with cage traps, turning all our weapons into cages, and then capturing everything and training the wildlife and throwing the goblins in the sea. Right. Well, you can start with the traps that are currently laid about our main entrance and start putting cage traps in place of the weapon traps there. And then we can do the ones around the mouth of the river. Where's the entrance? It's there, isn't it? So... I don't think I really care which mechanisms we use. Pinkbeast points out, also hang on, if you marmalise a goblin, don't you also get its copper weapons? True, this isn't sustainable, is it? Even if, well, I mean, I suppose if we recycle the cages, then it doesn't matter that much that we lose all their weapons. I mean, to be fair, they aren't all going to be captured in traps. Some of them are going to encounter angry dwarves, and many of them are going to fall in the river. Yes, the thing is, we have plenty of copper weapons, and most of them are currently fitted to weapon traps. Like, we're melting down all the copper armour at the moment. But what I will do as a result of that is to stop making Billen mechanisms and start making copper mechanisms, which will, of course, be even heavier, which is slightly annoying. Hang on, let's find the correct workshop rather than just doing it through that interface.
Right. Mute stream.
So if we add a make copper mechanisms when the number of copper mechanisms is less than 10. No, when the number of mechanisms is less than 10. Really, do we have less than 10? Well, that's fine. And then we've probably got a make billion mechanisms order here, haven't we? Have we, or did I just do a batch of them? Doesn't look like we have, actually, which would explain why we have fewer than 10. We seem to have a reasonable stock of cages at the moment. Dump the rotting corpses, damn it. Who are you? All right, you are an unhappy cat. Well, there a task attached to this corpse, yes. So why is no one, carrying it out? Everyone seems to be busy doing unhelpful things. Oh, here comes a dwarf to the inspection. What is your health problem? You have an ability to grasp somewhat impaired. Right. You're running away to pick up more equipment. Okay. You do not know how to swim, and your name is Asobberor. No, that was the wrong sequence of key presses. Click there first. What? Click there first. Right. You have come up as a member of the Regal Guilds. But you are the one who knows how to swim, because you are in fact in charge of the Regal Guilds. We have a few gaps, so let's... Right, so everyone else actually is pretty much incompetent. Right, that's nice to know. We've got a couple of competent and adequate fighters, but they have no weapon skills, so I think that means that now we inspect the remaining members of the Regal Guilds. You have no swimming skill at all. Udib Udist Geshud. So what was I saying? Something about the Regal Guilds. Yes, so now I think we inspect the remaining members. Any that have good military skills get sent to well, actually the Veiled Smiths are full now. We may have to create another squad for the leftovers. And then oh dear. There's a fight going on up here. Doesn't seem to be at the moment. Good. So, yes, and then we start finding swimmers and appointing them to the Veiled Smiths, which actually we could do now, couldn't we? Follow the usual thing of, is there anyone who's about to leave the swimming pool, and see whether they have adequate swimming skill for the purpose? No. Yes. Right, so Vukar Aran Logem, you get to join the Royal Guilds. So Vukar Aran Logem is now mucking around picking up equipment, as indeed basically all of our military dwarves, as they try to sort out what I've asked them to do. Oh, here's an unhappy Axe Lord. They don't know how to swim either. Right. That suggests I need another new militia commanders squad. They are called the Moons of Bolting. And we will stick Erith Kikrostam in charge of them. No, that wasn't what I meant. Those three are actually adequate, well, more than adequate swimmers. This squad has people who can wield weapons and swim. Dear poor Momus. Slipping into depression again. But still watching a diagnostics demonstration, so it will probably be fine. Lots of people are getting interrupted. Indeed, our cage traps are doing badly because people get interrupted while building them. That one's constructed though. That one needs to be resumed. Let's then start dismantling weapon traps. We'll have a quick look to see if we can find anyone who's about to leave the swimming pool who can swim. You are a competent swimmer. You're already in the salty inks. You are already in splatter. Looks like someone did manage to dump some things, but on the other hand, there are still rotten objects around. Right, anyone else coming out here to admit that they're a member of this new squad? Sodel Lukonos, who sadly does not know how to swim and also doesn't actually have any useful and adequate spear dwarf. No, I think I'm just going to release you to learn to swim. I don't think you are worth keeping around at all. Hang on, no, I'm looking at the wrong squad. We want to remove them from the Regal Guilds. Right. Go and learn to swim, and then we might accept you back in the military. How about you then? You're already in Splatter the Lyrical Seas, good. You are not in any squad under a talented swimmer, right. Well, it's going to be a little while before you exit the swimming pool. Come on. I mean, we need someone else to enter the swimming pool. Were you interesting? No. You need someone to decide to come into this pool so that the previous person can leave it. Oh. Shorast Rigoth Foka, surgeon, has been found dead. That was not expected.
Especially not by them.
No. You're found somewhere around here. Shorast Rigoth Foka's mangled corpse. I mean, with a pile of stuff, including some. I mean, oh right. I think the pile of weaponry and such is from the dismantling of a weapon trap. I hope the weapon trap didn't go off in their face while they were taking it apart. I don't think they can do that. I mean, I'm slightly tempted to carve a memorial to them just to find out what happened. Shorast Rigoth Fokor. Where do you do it? You do it here, don't you? Maybe not. Right, let's find out what happened. Well, it's how you get the dwarves to tell you things. You ask them to engrave them in stone and they'll tell you what they know. Now, you don't know how to swim. And you don't have any good weapon skills. I mean, you're a skilled dodger, but nah.
Skilled biter doesn't count as weapons.
Not really, no. It's not a weapon. I think I'm just going to fire you as well, Zulban. You're only a novice swimmer, Mebzuth, but you are an Axe Lord. So we'll stick you into the Moons of Bolting. Nope, you're still learning. You're already in the Salty Inks. Oh, we don't have enough slabs. Right, let's do something about the slab situation then. We should probably just have an order for that. Something like that. Let's turn down the numbers a bit though. I'd done that bit. I wanted to change the number we were trying to make as well. Just realised I may have forgotten the name of the person who died. Oh well. Oh, we should mark a few more tombs as usable while we're here. Can we just look under dead people? Not really, because they're not sorted very helpfully. I think they're sorted by when they arrived on the map rather than when they left it. Oh, are you new? I think you're one of the ones I just put in here, yes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so possibly with the exception of Tekud, whom I will just look up, we are now actually in a position where all of the regal guilds are known to know how to swim. Okay, you can't. Right, Tekud, Erib, Kalan should be moved into the Moons of Bolting as well. So, right, now we have properly arranged that we know who can swim and who can't. We have a couple of squads who are always off duty in the hope that they will learn to swim, but they are marked as military so that we can easily find them again. We have the Regal Gills, who are the squad that we are currently filling up with swimmers, so they should probably... We should probably now work out what on earth mess I have made of the standing orders for these, for the routines for these, because we probably want to like set up a sensible rotation of them, training and patrolling and doing other random stuff. So I've accidentally actually let's just select all of them apart, all of the amphibious groups, which is that lot, and inspect their monthly schedules. So we'll put them all into kind of staggered training, except that, so the current situation is that Splatter the Lyrical Seas are like training some and not training others. Is that what all of them are doing? So some of them, though, go train, patrol, surface, no orders. So we should probably like try to make this vaguely sensible. So we could go, if we did, we've got 4 of them at the moment, so we could do 2 train, 1 patrol, surface, 1 no orders, or something like that. They all really need training, don't they? So let's do that. Let's go for train, patrol, surface, no orders. Train, patrol, surface, no orders. Hang on. So then we want train. How do I get back to copying? Oh, I think I should have clicked done. Yes, that would have done it. So let's check that. Train, patrol, surface, no orders. Train, patrol, surface. No orders. Train. Patrol, surface, no orders. Then splatter will be in a slightly different order. I can click that, but I can't. Oh, I can't copy things between them. Right. How do I add a patrol order here then? This user interface is still confusing. Ah, yes, patrol, surface patrol. Train patrol surface. No orders. Train. Blah blah. Train, blah blah. Train, patrol surface, no orders, train, there, right. Splatter the Lyrical Seas now have a correct thing, and who knows what's been happening in the fortress while I've been setting that up. Someone's throwing a tantrum, kittens are still turning up despite my best efforts. Someone's got into a fight. We've made the first batch of copper mechanisms, which are even heavier. And we've entered a new month, I think. And we've created some masterpiece prepared giant fly thing roasts. And we're apparently short of rock even for making slabs out of. I think possibly I just need to dig up some dull rock, slabs, etc. for the making of.
You ran out of rock before finding out what had happened to your dead dwarf.
I ran out of slabs, so I didn't. So yes, I think what I should do is quickly. We've got a load of microcline, which is at least a good colour. So let's start nibbling away at our microcline walls and seeing what we can get out of that. And it's quite close to the surface. Right, let's get on to the next batch of scheduling. So you should be patrol first. What? I'm fairly sure that wasn't the right thing. Oh, it does seem to have turned up. Though actually, since it has the right name anyway, so that should be patrol, no orders, train, patrol, no orders, train, it's a lot easier once I realised that each page of this is 4 months. So if I put them in, if I just page up and page down, I always see one cycle. Right. And the Regal Gills should be on you're off duty rather than, do I have to set something else up for you? Yes, probably do. There's probably some higher level setting I need. Under equip. Doesn't look like it's there. Oh well, let's try to do it through the schedule then. Does that change it to no orders? Yes, good, right. So you should be no orders at the start of each thing. Then you should be training in the oops, no, that wasn't what I meant. Then you should be training in the second and third slots.
Good night, farewell.
Night. And then you should be patrolling in the last one. Right, so that's a sensible cycle set up for those 4 squads. Moons of Bolting and the Veiled Smiths should be basically doing nothing so that they can learn to swim, and the Lardy Larks are their own special thing and are constantly training but have nowhere to train. That means we should also make sure that the barracks are assigned to every squad other than the Lardy Larks. I mean, those two, whether they train, yeah, they can be allowed to train there if they want, or maybe not, because that might encourage them to go swimming. Right. Dear, giant blue jays are getting into fights again. Oh well, that will help you to learn how to use your spear. You see, the blue jay doesn't really seem to be much good at, like, hitting anything. So, well, you're satisfied on improving fighting and observation, but a bit terrified of the experience of actually fighting this thing. Well, you can get back to patrolling now. I don't think there's anything left there for you to fight. Yes. And indeed, you're now a spear dwarf. Excellent. Has become a spear dwarf. Satisfied upon improving spear. Also going to rest, so he's possibly injured. Yeah. I think you would indeed benefit from a trip to the hospital. Right. Let's get back to our traps situation, where we are trying to replace everything with cage traps, and then we're going to wonder what to do with all the goblins in cages. Was it Imush Degelbal who was our recent death? Not sure. I'm a little concerned by anything that says we have a giant blue jay in the fortress. Yes, that's not a good place for a giant blue jay to be. So it's Galena who, well, actually I'm kind of tempted to summon the non-swimmers who, like, this is probably an excessive number of people to ask, but they don't have other things to do. I think the giant blue jay just hurled someone across the room, which is a bit scary. Yes. Not quite sure where it's got to, which worries me. Oh right, it's apparently escaped the fortress now. Well, then let's cancel those orders. Well, I'm now going, how did you get back out again? Is there a hole in our roof? Gareth says there is a hole in your mine, I think. Can't see an obvious hole. I mean, possibly it's possible to get in through one of the drive shafts for the signalling system. Right, yes, and that's the one that has now escaped. Which, like, is fine. If they can get out of the fortress again. I mean, I'd prefer it if they couldn't get in. What is going on in the hospital? It's full of people. I mean, and cats and dogs and stuff. All right, yes, you have some fractured ribs which are being sorted if possible. You have some injured lungs. Diagnosed with inebriation. Is that not the normal case? All right, yes, you've had an unfortunate incident with a giant blue jay. Why doesn't that work every time? You don't seem to have experienced any fighting recently. Oh dear, you've been run down by a minecart apparently, yes. Well, that's going to require some repair. Sigh. And you've also had an unfortunate incident with a giant blue jay, apparently. Though, like, not as unfortunate for you as it was for the giant blue jay. Right, so you were the one who got into the fight outside and ended up having your whiskers torn or something. You appear to be a competent swimmer with minor military skills and not to be a member of any squad. So, once we've had the autosave complete, we can put you into a military group. Come on. There's a lot of world information, apparently. There we go. Right, back to wobbling again. Will this be the arrival of some tribute? Yes. That's not very exciting, at least not until... excuse me. Not until it actually gets delivered. Right. So, Coden Febcaton is an adequate swimmer and thus should be put into a squad. They should be put into the Regal Guilds. Coden Febcaton. Kogan Febcaton, right. How about you? You're about to leave. You're a competent swimmer. Excellent. Your name is Libash Usibim. Usibim, sorry. And once you've had a drink, I expect you will want to go off and get yourself some equipment. King Thingamy is, alright, now getting into a fight with a Tearsal Peregrine, which I suspect will end badly for at least one of them. Right, so, yes, the military are getting reasonably equipped. How are we doing with these traps? So we've taken another one of them apart, so let's build a cage trap to replace it. Since these are at the entrance, let's put the more valuable mechanisms in them, and let's start taking apart another weapon trap. We could just do that in bulk. It's not like these weapon traps have proved very useful anyway. Oh, it's via Force of Darkness. Let's see what and where. It looks like a smallish squad at the moment. Like 2 of them. Oh, slightly more arriving. I mean, those are few enough that they'll probably just mince themselves on the weapon traps. So where's our goblin thief got to? There they are. We've detected 1 so far. Let's follow them. Him. Though I think a weapon trap will probably turn out to fairly rapidly solve that problem. No, carefully dodge the weapon trap. Right, well in that case we should probably, like... I mean, he should walk straight into the weapon traps at the entrance. Okay, everyone else has arrived. All the other goblins have arrived now and started throwing crossbow bolts across the river. Oh, there's one thief who has managed to get caught by a weapon trap. Okay, well, the goblin thief who made it across the river got killed, I think, by a sufficiently annoyed local who just happened to be nearby. Can we find the goblin thief in this enormous list? So, like, attacked a horse. And bruised several of our livestock. But then got punched, bitten by a rabbit, charged at by a horse. Attacked by a rabbit again, kicked by a horse, which is not going to be good for your chances of survival. Like, what killed them? Oh, someone turned up with a battle axe, right. Yes, well, that's always going to be bad for you. So the goblin crossbowmen are contenting themselves with shooting our livestock, which, like, will at least run them out of bolts. Oh, one of them seems to have actually got through. Right, we may need someone to deal with that. Let us summon our amphibious dwarves then. Just in case this goblin crossbowman can survive. The other two are hanging back. I think one of them's met an unfortunate incident with a weapon trap. Heavy bleeding, seriously injured, probably not long for this world. So this one, though, is our problem. Dang conjure fly. But they have now encountered a not highly competent dwarf, but like they're going to give it a good go. Are they at least an adequately equipped dwarf? Yes. Right. Competent enough with the battle axe to cause some trouble. And conveniently, well, you're against someone with a crossbow who's going to take a little while to load things, and oh dear, they've passed out due to pain. At which point it's only a matter of time, and it's just the fact that our wrestler is so incompetent with a battle axe that they can't actually hit the goblin's head. That means that this is going to take a little longer than it might have. Someone else has turned up and decided that a sandpaper-wood crutch is the correct weapon. Right. I presume from the fact that nothing else is happening that the goblin is dead, yes. So that's that siege over. Most of the goblins were dealt with by the weapon traps, but one of them got through. As we can see from these rather large number of objects left behind on that weapon trap. Indeed, that one weapon trap does appear to have killed 4 goblins. Right, time to tidy up after that very small siege. Oops, hang on, yes, and the thief. I think at least one goblin fell in the river. So now the dwarves are tidying up. You actually just standing up repeatedly, yes. I don't think it's worth paying any attention to the cancelled jobs because they're mostly going to have been caused by the invasion. Oh, another siege apparently. Well, let's finish setting up this cage trap. Yes, we will definitely have a parley, because that gives us time to organise ourselves and inspect what you've brought. You appear to have brought, so far... All right, now everyone, I think they're still arriving on the map. Yes. So we'll let them turn up and then talk to them. Find out what it is that they want. Find out that we can't work out how to give it to them. Don't think the agitated giant blue jays are a big problem there. How is the vile force looking? Quite a few of them. I mean, we can probably take them. But let's reset the traps first. Is this someone slowly inserting crossbow bolts into this weapon trap? Is that number going to tick slowly downwards? It's ticked downwards by 1 and then you're taking the rest to put back. I think that's because it's now fully loaded. Yes, we hope you don't mind us making you wait for a bit, but we're trying to pick the bits of the previous Goblin Siege out of our traps. Once we've done that, we'll be right with you. That's quite exciting. They have brought a cave dragon. They have brought 3 cave dragons. I wonder how scary cave dragons are. I think cave dragons are nowhere near as scary as like proper dragons. I think they're more akin to Discworld swamp dragons. I think. But I've never met a cave dragon. And these ones are trained for war. Like the beak dogs are perfectly ordinary beak dogs. But the cave dragons are war cave dragons. A gigantic monster, once a dragon, now adapted to and polluted by the underground. Its wings fall limp at its sides. Its face is full of incredibly long teeth. Its eyes are large to penetrate the darkness. She is quite quick to heal, but she is quick to tire. She is very skinny, her scales are white, her eyes are green. She went to sea in a sieve. No, that's someone different. So, yes, they are all white with green eyes. They've also brought 3 blind cave ogres, it looks like. And a few Monera, along with a bunch of dwarves riding beak dogs. Dwarves? Goblins riding beak dogs. I'm not highly worried by this lot. And I'm pretty sure we can cage trap a cave dragon if we need to. The cave dragons are pushing over my pedestals. We haven't finished the parley yet. I mean, I don't quite know what my mare's up to. The mare's asleep at the moment. You can parley when the mare comes back. But you're already pushing over all of my pedestals. Those are my nice pedestals. If you keep going like that, you're going to hit a weapon trap, mind. Well, they've stood on the weapon traps. I've observed that while they've stood on the weapon traps, they don't seem to have triggered them. Which is worrying. I presume they're not hostile to dwarves at the moment. No. But they are wandering around knocking things over and avoiding traps, which I don't like. But we have offered them a parley, so there's not much to be done. I think I'm going to start summoning the military up here, though. Where's the mayor? The mayor is still asleep. Where are the dragons? Right, there they are. I think if they look like coming close to the entrance to the fortress, I'm going to lock it. Which conveniently it's made from a... No, I think this is close enough. This is going to cause hell with everyone's tasks, mind. It's made of an artifact. It's meant. Hang on, I just forbade that. Oh no, I didn't. Forbid. I'm terribly scared. I think there may be a cave dragon in the fortress. I mean, it's currently a friendly cave dragon, but yes. I somehow didn't correctly forbid that. Right. Forbid. Which does mean everyone's locked out or in, including the cave dragon that's locked in, but... Right, let's just also, I mean, it won't hold it for very long, but try to lock that one in the catacombs. This is going to be a bit of a problem because we're going to need to let the mare out at some point. But like, we can wait till the mare wakes up before we do that. Yeah, we obviously need some artifact. Yeah, we're going to now have a lot of cannot access thing messages, I fear. Yes, once the mare wakes up, I'll unlock the front door again. Are you now trying to knock over the doors, my dear cave dragon? Okay, I was wondering why that cat was seriously injured, but it doesn't seem to have been a consequence of a cave dragon. Has the other one wandered off somewhere? The other two. So where are Smutzu and Ubzu? Bucks is in the fortress. Oh dear, Smutzu has found a different way into the fortress. Do we actually have a mechanism for locking that entrance? Where's Ubzu? If they're all inside the fortress, then yeah, we may as well not lock the front door. No, Ubzu is still on the surface, right. Though quite a long way from the front door, so I think we can unlock it temporarily in order to allow people to do tasks. And then we can watch here. Oh, poor Meg Arbanast. Did you just get into a fight with a dog, you idiot? Which dog was it? I don't think it was either of them. Oh, Locum Lanced Martyred, we don't know which. Not that one. I'm hoping we can look at the dog's combat log to work out what happened. Except that it will only open one time in 2. No. I have no idea how that child died. Well, maybe we've actually got some slabs now that we could erect one for Meng Arbanast. That is the correct name, if that is your name, isn't it? Yes. Right. Our ability to process dead animals is still a bit shaky. Let's keep a lookout for grey capital Ds around the entrance and lock it if they turn up. And now the blind cave ogres are knocking over our windmills. I think we should stop parleying with these guys. Unfortunately, we can't now because we started. And the mayor's still asleep. So there is a danger that this is going to break the dwarf washer. Indeed, I should. If someone's knocked over one of the windmills driving the dwarf washer, like it will break, let us switch it into unoccupied mode. SA, NB, SB, SC, SD, NC, and ND. Right. So that's all of the dwarf washers configured for having people get off them rather than send the carts out unoccupied. But sadly, I think that may... Yes. Oh, someone's about to be run down by a minecart. So what's happened here is this minecart has stopped mid-journey, and the consequence is that this recruit has got off it, stepping straight into the path of this minecart. Which they dodged. Hooray! I think. This may not be so bad actually, because the power's off. People will, if the minecarts stop unexpectedly, people will just get off them and walk out. So probably this won't be very disastrous. What's going on with this blind cave ogre? Like, you seem to have managed to get into a fight, and I'm pretty sure we're still waiting for the parley. So you, for some reason, ended up attacking a dog, and this has, like, caused people to start punching you. No one's actually hacking at you with axes yet, it looks like. So probably they do think this is a, like, that you're not yet a true enemy of the fortress. Okay, that's not a nice thing to see in your list. The War Cave Dragon Box Amukzung is fighting. Yes, increasingly of the opinion that we should not have entered into a parley with these guys. Oh, Oopsu is all the way over there. That's good. Like, it would be nice if the other two cave dragons weren't inside the fortress, but at least having one of them outside is nice. Outside and back with the... So this dragon has been given a surname. There are only 2 cave dragons on the list now. What? Where's the 3rd cave dragon gone? Smuntsu has died. How did Smuntsu die? And can we, like, replicate that feat, please? I'm kind of being amused by the fact that this blind cave ogre appears to be losing a fist fight with a dwarf. Suppose we could try to find a cave dragon corpse, and thus we could at least know where it died. Oh, someone's turned up with a spear and he's actually using it. I mean, someone might suggest that this constitutes a breach of the parley agreement. But since the mayor's still asleep, I don't know that anyone's going to complain about it. Right, we've just killed a blind cave ogre that happened to get in the way. Don't seem to have got into any fights with the rest of them. Let's mark the blind cave ogre corpse for disposal, because we can't butcher that. Ditto the teeth. We can reclaim their clothes, I suppose. Okay, I think the goblins have got bored with waiting, but I'm not sure. They're edging northwards now. The mayor is awake but not going to the parley. Right, okay, I think that is what's going on. Everyone is at least meant to be in the right place, though I think lots of my military dwarves are busy doing other things. But let's see how this goes. There's only one dragon on the surface. My efforts at increasing the frame rate have not gone very well, have they? Any of that relevant? No. Right, so there is a bit of a problem that this cave dragon is actually attacking things. And looks like it might be somewhere dangerous, or possibly it's just under this enormous pile of miasma. Why is there forbidden gypsum there? That shouldn't be forbidden. Are you a cave? Here, there looks like there's a fight going on somewhere around here. But if there is, then there's a bunch of soldiers nearby. Let's find the said cave dragon, which was Bucks, as I've decided that vowel is pronounced, who is apparently seriously injured already. Oh, they're trapped. They're trapped in the thing still, aren't they? The catacombs. Well, I mean, they might knock the door down eventually, but I'm kind of tempted to leave them there for now. Yeah, that's not actually a serious injury, you know. Like, in theory, it can knock down that door, but the door is there at the moment and intact. So I think we'll keep that cave dragon indoors. And watch the beak dogs that don't have goblins riding them coming in. Let's advance the amphibious dwarves a bit further. Oh dear, Meng Tegironal has possessed one of my dwarves. Well, let's make that quite a high priority job then. I think my dwarves are rather enthusiastically charging across the river, which I don't really want them to do. So what's the war cave dragon up to? Oh, you found a... Have you knocked down that door? That door's still forbidden. But you found a doctor who is now dead. How did they get in there then? Like, the door's still there and closed and locked. There isn't a way in from up there. Were you already in the catacombs, you poor soul? Oh well. So how did Ngom do? Right, yeah, that looks good. I mean, maybe not dead yet, but... I think there is a danger that my dwarves are going to advance too far. Which will not be good for them. Especially not the unskilled ones. Like, what you want is to stay back. You don't actually know how to use your weapons yet. Stay back and let everyone else fall in the river. Urgh. Fools. This will not end well for you. Let's try to get them to fall back, but I fear that it's too late. Everyone is fighting and it's all going to end badly. I think I've managed to get the rest not to cross the river. Huh. Oh right, yes, I suppose if you get stunned when you fall in the river, then you are liable to drown no matter how good you are at swimming. Yes, 2 more deaths on our side. Like, quite a lot of dwarves in the river not drowning, which is nice, but not very helpful. What we want is the goblins to be in the river. I mean, to be fair, there are quite a lot of dead goblins around too. But they are dying by the wrong means. I'm slightly impressed by that airborne beak dog. Shaken to the core, possibly because it somehow ended up airborne. I mean, let's just have a look at the numbers. How terribly badly is this going? Still quite a lot of goblins alive. Several of them are drowning, though. That's nice. You know, it's okay. We haven't lost as many dwarves as I had feared. And there are fewer drowning dwarves than there are drowning goblins. Okay, the goblins are starting to enter the river now. That's nice. And then the ones who make it across. Yeah, this is going a bit better now. There is a cave dragon here, mind. Oopsoo wordy hexes. How good a name is that? I'm not sure the beak dogs should be charging the war cave dragon. The war cave dragon and the beak dogs are meant to be on the same side. Yes, okay, that wasn't very good for the poor cat. He's now found a horse. I am kind of concerned by this cave dragon, but I don't really want to let the non-swimming soldiers too close to it. So what are you doing? Okay, you're doing a decent job of mincing goblins. Excellent. By removing their noses. Oh, have you started fighting the cave dragon? Oh, you've managed to chip the bone in its right front leg at least. Okay. Maybe don't punch it. Yes, I was expecting you to drown. Now watching the cave dragons log so that we can see. You've got the spear has a pointy end. Thank you. Use the pointy end. It's a good pointy end. Oh, you exhausted the cave dragon. Excellent. Well done. You now have a cave dragon on your kill record. Usbu wordy hex is the cave dragon. Right, how are we doing for killing the goblins then, while that exciting fight with the cave dragon was going on? Oh, that's not looking so bad now. Like, we've still got one cave dragon locked in the catacombs. I think it's still locked in the catacombs. Yes. Keeps managing to find things down there, though, which is kind of unhelpful. Seems to have found another dog. You're an adequate swimmer, you shouldn't be drowning. I think we're doing a decent job now against these goblins, especially since a fair number of them are still falling in the river. I'm kind of inclined. I'm not quite sure I'm comfortable sending the... I think we can actually send the all of the amphibious squads across the river. And the non-amphibious squads, I think I'm still a bit scared of sending that way. Yeah, I think we're running out of dwarves out there, so my hope is that now they will, yes, start successfully. The new batch will now dispose of anything that's left. And that does seem to be working pretty well. As the goblins have managed to get themselves spread out rather. So now they can pick off the remaining beak dogs and so forth. Oh, right. Box has got an even longer name and has managed to get out of that door. Oh no, they've been knocking down the wrong doors. Oh, because there are so many doors, the dragon can't actually reliably knock down the correct one. And so it's just been knocking down random doors and thus hasn't managed to escape. Trick for trapping building destroyers behind doors is if they can't work out which door gets them out. They've got one goblin down there somewhere. There. One goblin busy drowning, and that's it. So I think we just need someone to go after the one remaining goblin. And when I say someone, I mean everyone. Right, that's dead. What have we got left? Just the cave dragon, right. Let's get our non-amphibious mob. Restation them. Someone else has got in there and started mucking around with coffins. What are you doing? Okay, let's actually tell them. Can you find a way to kill this creature without me unlocking this door? Because then maybe I can work out how people are getting in to meet it. It doesn't seem to be able to get out. But people keep going in and saying hello to it. This is unhelpful. Because it's a cave dragon. Oh right, there's a way through there, is there? I see, yes, right. Let's see if we can... lock that door as well. Until we have a decent quantity of troops hanging around here. Right, I think we actually have a decent quantity of troops hanging around here and we should let them in. Oh dear. Oh no, that was probably a civilian. Have we managed to kill... Oh, I think we've killed the last cave dragon. How do you kill a cave dragon? Where is it in this list? Right, yes. So, messy and quite fatal for a fair number of dwarves. We're now below 100 population, so we've lost like about 13 in that experience. But a lot more fatal for the goblins, it has to be said. So now there is going to be a lot of tedious tidying up. Re-erecting all of those demolished pedestals. Right, yes. Well, I mean, I'm quite impressed that we managed to kill at least one of the cave dragons accidentally. Like, I don't even know where its corpse is. I presume someone will be hauling it back up to butcher it. And we're probably going to want to turn on the drains soon to get, well, that ghost out for its start. Have we finished? No, we're still working on making that memorial for this ghost here, who may possibly be the cause of that drowning. So what's our... right, everyone has managed to get out of the dwarf washer, but it is broken because an ogre knocked down the one of the things, windmills. So we're going to need to drain it in order to extract the mine carts. And then refill it and put it back into service. We have got an awful lot of dead goblins to tidy up. And to be fair, quite a few dead dwarves as well. And some doors to reinstall in the down here. And no one is currently working on butchering, and we need to do... Oh dear, that's already scheduled for dumping. And certainly one of the things that needs to be done is some butchery, but that's probably a low priority. We may have to accept that the giant cave dragons are not going to be turned into edibles anytime soon. And damn it, the agitated giant blue jays are still around. Just a little curious as to what quantity of dead things we get on each weapon trap. Yeah, I don't think actually cave traps will be too much of a problem. I think we seem to have about one corpse per weapon trap there. I think whatever the wiki may say, the cave dragons were quite capable of avoiding traps. But at least having an artifact front door did allow us to reroute them a bit. That corpse is, yes, already scheduled for dumping. But there is an awful lot of work to do. And obviously, placing items in tombs is quite a high priority. I think we also need to refill the mist generator. I think it's just run out. Right, and yes, as might be expected, the hospital is a bit busy. Oh, we've only got 3 patients at the moment. Oops, wrong button. Oh well. So, yeah, we're going to need to drain the river quite soon to get the dead dwarves out, aren't we? It does tend to be a bit of a dangerous operation, but that is quite important. So let's try opening drain C and seeing if we can get that dwarf out. Oh, Pinkbee says, I've read, unconfirmed, if the Civ has seen your cage trap, its units may avoid it. Yes, maybe the parley means that they get a chance to inspect our traps. And indeed, if they're not hostile at the point when they hit the traps, then that probably means that the trap doesn't trigger. Sorry, there was something there that looked like a drowning dwarf briefly. Though no, the ghost isn't drowning. It doesn't seem to be drowning now. Just have a quick look at the unit list. No one seems to be drowning. Right, I think... No, there's still a corpse in that square that needs to be pulled in. Shouldn't take long, though. Right. Like we could get a bit more in there, but that drain C is now basically filled. So we can turn that off again. I mean, not that I would object to managing to get that pile of stuff out, but I'm not sure if we can. I mean, it moved one square, but maybe it can't get through that diagonal. How are you doing at making those? No, you're still engraving Mengteng Rodinal's memorial. Once it's engraved, we'll be able to get rid of this inconvenient ghost. Right, so meanwhile, if we're going to do any drainage over here, probably want to open whichever the one is around here. Drain E. Okay, where's the lever for East River Drain E? There it is. Sure, someone will find the lever for the other drain shortly. Right, yes. Alright, and drain E is now open. And lots of dead goblins are being swept towards it. Actually, it's not really the goblins we want to get, it's these dwarves, which probably means opening drain A. But while objects are conveniently moving towards drain E, let's leave it open. Apart from that ogre skeleton, which seems to be permanently stuck there. Right, I think that's most of what we would want from drain E done. So now let's open drain A. And hope that that can gather these three dwarves, which are like probably the should have been the priority. Oh yes, on which subject? Do we have anything we want to geld? Because we did get some new kittens. Yes. There we go, that might help. Right, can we get these dwarf corpses in? One. Oh, yes, two. Come on, in you go. Yes, there we are. This one, quite a long way from either of the either this drain, either drain B or drain A. I'm a bit worried it won't be able to hit either of them. Yeah, things from one square away have gone in. Let's find the lever for drain B as well. Oh, someone's having a strange mood. Well, I'm not entirely surprised. Right, well, that's not working very well. Let's try closing drain A and see if that can get a flow downstream. Oh, no, that corpse has just shifted. Don't close drain A anymore. That's surely close enough to be carried in now. You'd better close drain B. Well, once this miasma's cleared, I'll be able to see whether there's still a corpse in the river. I think there isn't. Right, yes, that's looking good. Close drain B, drain A. We haven't got everything out of the river, but we've got all the dead dwarves out of the river, and that's the important thing. Right, we've stopped draining things, I think, more or less. So now the dwarves can collect all of that stuff. And in particular, bury the 3 dead dwarves who were found there. Oh, we should dispose of the dead animals that encountered the cave dragon, shouldn't we? How many kitten teeth? There might be a few objects here we want to keep, but... What? Didn't I just mark everything here for dumping? Yes. So why are some objects not marked for dumping? I mean, that's not a problem, really, because the ones that seem to be marked for dumping are the ones that I want to dump, for the most part. I mean, we can keep those bits. But yes, in particular, all the kitten teeth are marked for dumping simultaneously. Don't need a cat's paw, as it were. And the bits of kitten there can be dumped, but we want to keep the bits of dwarf for burial purposes. Right, so that's kind of tidied now. I've done the river drainage as far as I can. Still waiting for Maintaining Rovil's memorial to be carved. So we now have the slightly inconvenient job of people bringing dead goblins up from the drainage systems. Which is kind of messy, but okay, Meng Arbanast needs another slab made, so we'll schedule that. Oh, do we have a problem that we can't make slabs? That because of the stockpile linkages, that workshop can't actually be used for carving slabs reliably. Probably, yes. Right, anyway, let's deal with this ghost, and then I think we will probably call it a night. But I'd like to not have a ghost lying around when I'm asleep. It might haunt me. I mean, admittedly, it may take forever for this. I suppose the fact that it's scheduled is probably enough. I mean, I think this is a fairly unexciting death. Meng Arbanast drowned, yes. Meng Tegironal drowned. Which is more or less what we expected. Right. Oh, so much goblinite of various sorts that still needs to be stored. And that's before I unforbid the weapons and armour. You've created an artifact mechanism. Well done. This is a hematite mechanisms. All craft dwarf ship is of the highest quality. It is encrusted with cushion-cut pink tourmalines, studded with billand and encircled with bands of cushion hematite cabochons and round limonite cabochons. This object menaces with spikes of pink tourmaline and willow. On the item is an image of Sodal Insight Brass the Dwarf and a leopard leather mitten in hematite. Sodal Insight Brass is raising the leopard leather mitten. The artwork relates to the masterful leopard leather left mitten created by the dwarf Sodal Insight Brass for the Treaty of Caves at shoot test in the mid-autumn of 112. On the item is an image of the Big Leap, the steel bucket in hematite. On the item is an image of dwarves in mudstone. The dwarves are travelling. The artwork relates to the foundation of shoot test by the Treaty of Caves of the Orbs of Yore in the early spring of 100. On the item is an image of Suthra Fenced Sneaks the human and Etru Flower Plunged the human in Billen. Etru Flower Plunged is striking down Suthra Fenced Sneaks. The artwork relates to the killing of the human Suthra Fenced Sneaks by the human Etru Flower Plunged in the Sea of Mines in the late winter of 105 during Belrokogush, the Scorching Assault. On the item is an image of a sponge man in Railgar. So that's quite some mechanism. Right, thank you for that mechanism. I will find a use for it, or maybe just put it on a pedestal somewhere. So, yes, that slab needs to be installed, and then we'll get rid of that ghost. We've sucked most of the things that we need to get out of the river, and so they will get buried eventually. But the number of outstanding tasks, even without moving weapons and such like, is quite enormous. So it may take a little while before everything gets done. So I think we will stop there and come back on Friday and, well, possibly spend most of our time just watching this tidying up happening. So until then, I will press save and say good night. Good night.